If you were trading gold last week, especially on Friday, you could have done great if you were a scalper. If you were trading gold last week, especially on Friday, you could have done great if you were a scalper because you would have seen a chart like this. Oh my God, what in the world? A real roller coaster. But if you were expecting to take a trade and hold it for some time, several days or several weeks, that was out of the question. However, I have some good news for you. At the end of this video, you now will be able to take a trade on gold that you can hold for some time. So let's just go ahead and jump in and get started with this weekly analysis, which starts on the 14th of July, going through to the 18th of July, 2025. And we will look at the news, of course, the high impact news that's coming out. There is some inflation data on the U.S. economy, very important news. And then, of course, I will look at the profit and loss we had from last week's trades. And it was some good trades and some not so good trades. And then, of course, I will share my pending orders with you. And that's the trade setups that I have in place for this upcoming week. So first of all, looking at the calendar. And of course, for the calendar, we go to forexfactory.com. That's our go-to website for the high impact news. Nothing on Monday. And then it all kicks off on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, the CPI data on the pound with CPI data on the U.S. economy on the Tuesday. And then just the normal high impact news on Thursday, and then nothing on Friday. So be sure and check forexfactory.com for your local times. And here are the trades that I shared with you last week. Let's see how they turned out. Gold was excellent. Started off the week, just as we said, with a sell limit, and that didn't open until Tuesday. Came down, hit our take profit at 3,300, went a little bit below that. If you'd held on to that, you got a total of 630 pips before turning around on Wednesday and turning bullish. All right, so we have a great setup to look at in my pending orders I'll share with you shortly. And looking at the major pairs, the Euro-US did not work out. However, don't despair. It did not hit the stop loss. It went absolutely the wrong direction all week long. Okay, but it depends, of course, where you had your stop loss. But for me, it did not hit the stop loss, so I'm still holding on to this trade. The odd US was a little bit strange. It went the opposite direction from the other major pairs. And the pending order did open the buy limit, and we got 65 pips out of that one. It hit the take profit and went a little bit above the take profit. The New Zealand US, however, did just the same as the Euro US, was a buy limit, and that one did not work out. But again, that has not yet hit the stop loss, so I'm holding on to that trade. The pound US was just not a very good one, okay, but it did work out. It came down and hit the buy limit, came back up on the same day, and if you got out really quickly, you would have had 37 pips on that one before it turned around and went the wrong direction. Then the USD CAD was a total loser. All right, unfortunately, that does happen sometimes. We do incur losses with our trading. It did come up and hit the sell limit, but then just kept going straight up. And finally, on early in Friday in the Asian Pacific session, did hit the stop loss on the USD CAD. And the final one, the USD JPY, did the same as the USD CAD because of the unusual momentary or very short-term strengthening of the US dollar. It went the wrong direction. So that was a sell trade, market execution, and it just absolutely went wrong. And so also hit the stop loss on the USD JPY. And before I jump into the pending orders, let's have a look down here at the DXY and see what's going on with the dollar. And so you look at this chart, this is a 4-hour chart, H4, and you say, well, the dollar's getting stronger. No, guys, don't be fooled by this. The dollar is not getting stronger. And just let me prove my point. Let's zoom out just a little bit. There's the day chart. And we'll go back here when we started that decline, and that was mid-January when Donald Duck took office. Going right up here. This is mid-January when Donald Duck took over the U.S. presidency, and it's just been a steady decline. So you say, you look down here, you zoom in, and you see all these green candles. That happened back here, that happened back here, it happened back here, but it has been a continual decline of the U.S. dollar for the last 6 months. So you got to be sure and look at the big picture. So what we saw on the 4-hour chart as we are zoomed in, okay, or zoomed out, I should say. Yeah, it looks like, oh, the dollar is getting stronger. No, guys, the dollar is not getting stronger. It appears that way, but only on the short-term chart. And now let's look at the pending orders that I have in place for this upcoming week. And looking first at Bitcoin, what a stellar move on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This is insane. A $10,000 move last week. Unbelievable. It started out the week around 107, 108,000. It finished the week at 117,000. Unbelievable. It actually got a new all-time high, and that was $118,287. Amazing. So guess what? Our support on Bitcoin now is 115,000. So yes, put your buy limit at 115,000. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's true. So Bitcoin is on fire. It's on the move. But yes, we will, of course, see retracements, pullbacks, and 115,000 is now our support level on Bitcoin. So let's flip through the major pairs. First, the Euro US. I have a buy limit on that one. The entry price is 1.1665. The AUD US, also a buy limit with the entry price at 0.6565. The New Zealand US is also a buy limit with the entry price at 0.6000. The pound US is a buy limit with the entry price at 1.3470. The USD CAD is a sell, market execution. Now be careful with this one, guys, because of all of the nonsense on tariffs that the US and Canada has started again, all right, thanks to Trumpty Dumpty. And we see this, we shouldn't have been getting this bullish move last week, but that's because of all the tariff talks that are going on. We should have been continuing this bearish move, but that changed last week. And so be very, very careful with this one. Even if you don't trade the USD CAD, that's fine too. But I do have a sell order market execution on the USD CAD. And the UJ, let's have a sell limit on that one with the entry price of 147.58. And now looking at the commodity that everybody loves to trade all over the world, and that's gold, XAU USD. And I have a buy limit on that one with the entry price at 33.51 and a take profit at 3,400. That entry price, the buy limit, is just a little bit below where it closed on the Friday session in the US, but it's definitely bullish. This is bullish on the day chart, bullish on the 4-hour chart, bullish on the 1-hour chart. And it's the first time in more than a couple of weeks that we've had a bullish signal on the day chart. So that's a really, really good indication that we are going to higher prices now. Just need to get the right entry point, and we should be able to hold this for several days or even longer. Looking initially for a take profit of 3,400, and then perhaps beyond that up to our all-time high of 3,500. So buy limit on gold, XAU USD, with the entry price at 33.51. Okay, that's all that I have for you this week, guys. I hope that these tips and suggestions, these pending orders, will help you with your trading in Forex. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below this video. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click that little bell so you'll be notified when I make these videos, which is every Sunday before the upcoming week of Forex trading. And don't forget, if you don't have time for trading or you're not interested in learning how to trade, there is another solution for you. Okay, it's called Copy Trade. And I have a strategy provider Copy Trade account. All you have to do is fund your own account with $100 connected with my strategy provider account. And when that account takes a trade, your account takes a trade. At the end of the month, it's share profit. You get 70%. The strategy provider gets 30%. So if it makes $1,000, you get $700 and you didn't do anything. It's a great opportunity for those of you who don't have time for trading or you don't want to learn how to trade. All right, thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like and share this video, and I'll see you again next week. And be kind to yourself, be kind to others.